Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Braun, Bobby and Drew had this amazing match where they did all the beefy moves. And Roman and Cesaro had another amazing match, but in a different way, where they made it really slow and methodical and psychologically dense. And The Miz was eaten by zombies. I'm Mr. Davis. Please give WrestleTalk a subscribe, super kick that thumbs up button, and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news and review videos. Like my review of your third favourite WrestleMania of the year, WrestleMania Backlash, in about 10 minutes. The pre-show match saw gangs of new Sheamus actually put his United States title on the line in an open challenge, somewhat undoing all his heel work on Raw where he ensures that doesn't happen. Ricochet answered from out of main event, pew pew, and unsurprisingly had a very good match. Despite being booked into obscurity, Ricochet is still one of the most spectacular wrestlers in the world, and Sheamus is on the best in-ring run in his WWE career. After an exciting 7 minutes, Ricochet dodged a bro kick to be knocked out by a follow-up knee for Sheamus to retain. Sheamus cut a heel celebration promo afterwards, but Ricochet attacked him and stole his cotton little hat. So we're presumably starting a Sheamus versus Ricochet feud for the US title by having Sheamus decisively beat Ricochet in a match for the US title. Clean. Not even with his finishing move. Barely an inconvenience. After an opening video package for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead movie instead of the actual wrestling pay-per-view, but I'm sure that's the end of the promotional tie-in deal. The main card opened with the Raw Women's Championship match of Rhea Ripley defending against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Despite their story having very little substance, and that Asuka was beaten clean on the go-home Raw, all three women put on a fast-paced slugfest, making this feel like an actual blood feud. The finish was odd though, where Charlotte booted Asuka into a riptide, letting Ripley retain while Flair just stood on the apron, I guess. The camera didn't show her. There was no reason why she couldn't break up the pin. So either it was a slight positional botch, or something far worse. Charlotte was being controlled by a supernatural force. There were a few moments in this match where Flair looked like she was standing very much like demonic Alexa Bliss, with her head cocked to the side. This could be foreshadowing whatever WWE have planned for Charlotte versus Bliss later. I've seen a lot of people praise the Mysterios beating the Dirty Dogs to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, becoming the first ever father and son team to do so. The victory itself was very sweet. Rey's whole reason for staying with WWE was to help his son become a wrestler, and now he's won the tag titles with him. That's both a hell of a personal and professional achievement. I just thought the match suffered from Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 34 syndrome. Dominic had been taken out earlier in the night by what seemed to be an Ottoman storage unit backstage. Cushion first, the hardest part of the Ottoman. This meant Rey effectively fought a handicap match for 10 minutes, which I found monotonous. And when Dominic eventually came down for the hot tag, he got cut off right away, as did Rey when he tagged back in. It was a match of cold tags, but the result was heartwarming. Now here's a message from me back when I didn't have so many eyebrows. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Ridge, which you can get 10% off now using our link in the video description below. The Ridge have redefined the wallet, creating a minimalist card holder for up to 12 cards, plus room for all your money in a compact design which easily fits in your front pocket, unlike your current wallet, which is probably about as minimalist as a hipster burger. No one can get that in their mouth. Title of my sex tape. Ridge wallets are available in 30 different colors and styles, have RFID blocking technology to protect your cards from digital pickpockets, over 40,000 5-star reviews, and a 45-day trial period with lifetime warranty, meaning this could be the last wallet you ever have to buy. And wallets aren't all they do, as I've just picked up their awesome weatherproof commuter backpack which has so many compartments. So please support WrestleTalk and at least check out the Ridge wallet by using our link ridge.com/WrestleTalk below. And if you like what you see, use the code WrestleTalk for 10% off. Support WrestleTalk, support your wallet with the Ridge. If If you were looking at the fans on the Thunderdome screens, you might have thought WWE were doing a special show just for people from Corpus Christi. But no, the atmosphere wasn't dead, they were actual zombies. Because The Miz versus Damian Priest, a feud with absolutely zero supernatural elements to it, apart from the fact that it's been going on forever and will never die, was a lumberjack match with NXT wrestlers on the outside, made up like the undead. But not just any mindless flesh-eating zombies, thank God. These zombie jacks knew the rules, only attacking the wrestlers when they stepped out the ring. Who looks at Priest, one of the coolest voiced, badass looking guys on the roster, and thinks he's the one we overload with celebrity and horror gimmicks right at the start of his main roster run? Miz and Priest teamed up to fight off the zombies. John Morrison ran down to film his audition tape for Army of the Dead 2, and then got eaten, and Priest won the match, leaving the zombies to presumably consume the Miz. Expect the Miz to sell that at least until tonight's episode of Raw. I hated this. It made me embarrassed to be watching professional wrestling. I could feel it making me dumber. And worst of all, I think it severely set back Priest. But what did AEW's Chris Jericho think? Zombies? Zombies? Wow. That just set wrestling back 30 years. What did you think of the zombie involvement? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to as many people as I can in the first 15 minutes after this video goes live. From out of nowhere, WWE then announced their next pay-per-view will be on June 20th, and it will be Hell in a Cell. Stop doing horror stuff in June. At least it's not called WrestleMania Hell in a Cell. Yet. Thankfully, everything else on the pay-per-view was very good to freaking awesome. Bianca Belair retained her SmackDown Women's Championship over Bayley by wrapping her braid around her legs in a roll-up, presumably setting up a rematch, possibly in Hell in a Cell. Then Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley legit had one of my favourite WWE matches of the year. Ironically, after having 4 weeks of TV build with almost exclusively filler, this match was all killer, with not a single pause for breath. Lashley and Drew set the tone almost immediately by hitting a double stalling suplex on Braun, making you think, well, anything could happen, which it then proceeded to do. Strowman did a cannonball off the ring apron. Trains don't flip. Drew threw Lashley through the Tron so much it exploded, and Braun powerbombed McIntyre through the announcer's table without even removing the monitors. Christ alive, Strowman, are you actually trying to kayfabe hurt him? Drew hit a claymore for the finish, but by then Bobby had run down to steal the win, making Drew versus Bobby a possible Hell in a Cell match. Although I think we all want Lashley to move on to someone else now, and that someone is Cool Keith Lee. Thanks for your support on Patreon, the British Bulldog, Philip Boy J. Smith Jr. and the Rocket, Dan Van Sky. And the main event saw the latest masterclass in Shakespearean wrestling. Roman's matches are unlike anything else in the world right now. Slow, long, dramatic, and most importantly, completely based on character. It's like the action is secondary to the struggle of wills. Each match is the story of a different challenger trying to bring down the tribal chief, and each time they get so close. Reigns had a game plan though. Destroy the most dangerous part of Cesaro's offense, his right uppercut arm. He did that over nearly half an hour, but would get cocky by trash-talking DB, Daniel Bryan to you and me, into the camera, giving Cesaro convincing hope spots to fire back, but all of Cesaro's guts couldn't repair his limb, and he couldn't keep on the crossface or the sharpshooter or properly hit the neutralizer. Roman overpowered the arm and made Cesaro pass out in the guillotine all by himself, crucially without the Usos, which is very welcome, as I've heard some criticize these main events for making Roman look weak, despite him also being SmackDown Thanos. I must admit though, the Jey Uso interference has become somewhat repetitive, and Roman winning all alone helps progress the Jimmy storyline. Cesaro's post-match selling was terrific, acting like he'd just woken up after passing out, but the show closing angle felt lackluster after the match's high drama. Seth Rollins came down and brutally beat up Cesaro, shattering his arm in a chair on the ring post, being annoyed for him for moving on from their feud. Reigns and Jey, however, just walked away. What did you think of WrestleMania Backlash? Let me know in the poll on a poll match on our community tab, where 72% of you went for, but also Miz got eaten by zombies. Yeah, it is hard to move past that bit. The top 2 matches on this show were excellent. The women's 3-way that opened was fast-paced and fun too, Belair versus Bayley was very good, and the Mysterio's win was heartwarming. But, as I've already said, it's hard to move past The Miz getting eaten by zombies. And for that, I've got to chop off a point. Backlash Mania is 4 out of 5. And there were developments on WrestleTalk's live reactions too, as me getting blown up was finally explained. Here's a promo video for informational purposes. I can't watch, it's too painful.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Just figured now was as good a time as any to tell you something I wanted to tell you for a little while. Hey Ollie, how's his shoulder? Fully recovered? It was me, Ollie. It was me all along. I was the one who blew you up. Now I already know there's going to be several of you in the live chat, several of you in the comments just saying, oh, it was so obvious we knew it was you all along, but shut up and keep your comments to yourself. You don't know anything. Now I think the reasons for me doing this are pretty self-explanatory if you've been paying attention. Last year, last August, I made a choice. I opted to get Luke fired, I gave up my Wrestle League points, and I joined the Ollie Authority. Also, Ollie could become Jam That Champion, and yes, he is Ollie, not Mr. Davis. He's not on some pedestal, he's not a god, he's a man, he's a mortal, and he's a fool, no matter what he thinks of himself. So what was I promised when I joined the Ollie Authority? Success? Opportunities to get over with the fans? Why would I ever want to do that? And maybe that success that I was promised, just maybe one of those perks could have been, I don't know, a shot at the Jam That Championship? No, that could never happen because Ollie was scared that I would beat him for it, so he never even let me near it. What did I get instead? For giving up my Wrestle League points? What do I get instead? I still have to do the Wrestle League music video punishment. He couldn't use it in his power as Jam That Champion or as the boss of this company to get me out of doing the Wrestle League music video punishment. No, I've still got to be Mr. Ass. I still have to dress up as Nikki Bella at Hell in a Cell. I've still got to dress up as Jeff Hardy at Elimination Chamber. That's what I get for joining the Ollie Authority. And he gets to skirt on by based off my success as the Jam That Champion. So I had to do what I must. The only way I could ever get a Jam That Championship opportunity was if I forced myself into it. So that is what I had to do. Before Fastlane, I blew up Ollie. And sure, things may not have panned out as I wanted at Fastlane. I'm not sitting here as the Jam That Champion right now. But I will be. And you know how I know that? Do you know how I've outsmarted all of you? All of you who think you know all the answers? I wasn't working alone. I was working with the inside man.
Seems like about time you knew. About time I told you the truth. About time for a loud, passionate promo with sinister overtones. A promo about fun, corruption, wrestling, censorship. It's me, Ollie. I was the inside man. So you lot are all in this for the fun of it. Charades, missing lyrics, guessing nipples. I'm not in this for the fun of it. I'm in this for the wrestling. I love wrestling. I would spend every waking moment of my life in this ring at the Battle Arts Academy if I could. Everyone knows who the most dominant Quizlemania champion of all time is. It's not Luke. It's not Sean Ross Sapp. It's me. I defeated the entire WrestleTalk roster. I defeated Sean Ross Sapp twice. I won the Jam That Jamble. I named every G1 Climax winner ever, and the people were impressed. But you knew no one could beat me. So what happened? You stripped Quizlemania of its trivia, and in doing so, you stripped it of its dignity. But you got what you wanted. Tempest off the show, back in the lobby, checking 2 facts a game and not even being given the courtesy of an introduction anymore. So if you want this fact checker on Quizlemania, it better be for a shot at the title, because this fact checker has checked his last fact. You made me an afterthought. Well, I am no one's afterthought. So I found an ally with the intangible assets necessary to do what is necessary, and we blew you up, Ollie. But then you gave me NXT. You gave me SmackDown. You gave the intangibles an opportunity to succeed. And I started having second thoughts. Until you decided that my opinions were not fit for this channel. How dare I not see the brilliance of Dexter Lumis? How dare I not share one of your opinions and the opinions of all these fans that you've cultivated? Tempest is negative. Tempest is opinionated. Tempest is controversial. These are my intangibles. We are the intangibles. And the time for promos is over. Now is the time for action.
Me? Tempest? The intangibles. The Ollie Authority is gone, dead, buried, burned, forgotten. And in its place, the intangibles will rise. Intangibles for life.
Wrestling is a lot like comics. It's embarrassing, difficult to get into, way too costly for what it is, you wouldn't want to meet its fans, and it features the full spectrum of human emotions condensed to punching and screaming. It also never bloody ends, with storylines piling on top of backstories, Wikipedia choking amounts of lore for every single character that stretches back years and years.